Hello and welcome to 𝐿 Europa League, 𝐿 Conference semi-finals. All the games we have on Thursday, just one step away from the final. And we have Alain Valnegri Leo Bachanian. Hello guys, to bring you the best odds in this European semi-final. So of course, stay with us in this video. Also, the conference semi-finals. If you enjoy the videos, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. And we are going to start with the Europa League, of course. We've been analyzing the whole competition in Oddspedia. And now we are just one step away from San Mamés. But we are going to start in San Mamés because Athletic are still alive. And the best semi-final, I think we don't have any doubts, is Athletic Man United. Even for the bookies, this is going to be very balanced, at least the tie for this first leg. Athletic really favorite. Odds are 2.02, but to qualify, for the market to qualify, is absolutely even. But Leo, we've seen Athletic winning all the games at home in this Europa League, even getting a distance of 2 goals in most of the games. They are favorites to repeat the thing again with Man United, and I guess we are the bookies are right to place Athletic as favorite, at least for this first leg.
Oh yes, I do believe it is right to place them as favorite, but I can't see, or at least I do not expect this one to be a first leg with plenty of goals, going into what you were saying of Athletic Bilbao at least winning by a 2 goals margin every single game they play at home. This is going to be the toughest test left in the competition, of course, for Manchester United. United finishing third in the league stage, Athletic finishing second in the league stage. We talk, I remember before Athletic played Roma, the first leg and the second leg, talking how they were going to find the pressure of knowing that they needing to win because the final is in San Mamés. And now this question comes again, to be honest, because it's a different stage, it's a different opposition in front. I think Amorim is going to go full experience for this tie. And at the Olímpico, when we were talking about this, of the pressure on Athletic, I remember it was a balanced game against Roma, and no one could have said that Roma was the unjust winner on that night. Then the return leg was marred by that red card to Matt Hummels, quarterfinals with Rangers, again an early red card that changes everything, this time in the first leg. The return leg in Bilbao, Athletic did the job. They show like great determination against Rangers in San Mamés from the very first minute. Sunset from midfield was outstanding. Even before he scored the opening goal with the penalty, he had 2 or 3 chances. They arrive now with a little bit more rest than United, because the last match that Athletic Bilbao played was a week ago, the 23rd of April against Las Palmas. And I think we need to forget, when we come to Manchester United, with everything that happened against Lyon in terms of like goal scoring fees. It's not going to happen that again, not at least in the first leg. That night with Lyon is up there with the best of European nights for United. Of course, top spot is the Camp Nou against Bayern Munich, 1999. Someone will say that also another great European night was against PSG a few years ago in 2019, when Thomas Tuchel was the manager at PSG, and United lost the first leg 2-0 in Old Trafford, and then they went to Paris and they won 3-1 with the Marcus Rashford penalty in the 94th minute. But the one with Lyon was completely different, something we haven't seen that before. 5 goals in extra time, being 4-2 down with 10 minutes to go, and with an extra player. Thousands of fans leaving earlier, and then realizing they made probably the mistake of their life. The problem is, like, have the issues of Man United, like been solved after winning against Lyon? And the reality is no, because 3 days after they won against Lyon, they were very, very poor against Wolverhampton. Yesterday with Bournemouth, a little bit more the same. With Wolverhampton, you can say, okay, there was a big rotation, but yesterday with Bournemouth, not. Amorim played his best 11. I think he played the best 11, trying to see how they could work going into Thursday, because they have 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 for the first time in a very long time in the starting lineup as a left centre back. With Harry Maguire and 𝐜𝐵𝐵𝐻𝐿, 𝐵𝗵 and Casemiro were the double pivot. Dorgu left wing, Mazraoui on the right. Actually, they're gonna be missing 𝐷𝗵𝗿𝗏, who is injured and out for the rest of the season. And then Bruno, Garnacho, and Højlund. So he played the best 11. I think it's going to be the same 11 we're going to see on Thursday night. With Højlund, the issues remain the same, although he scored yesterday against Bournemouth, but it's just 2 goals in the last 29 games for Rasmus Højlund. But sometimes the only way to stop goal scoring drought is to keep playing. And we will see if by scoring against Bournemouth now everything changed for Rasmus Højlund. As I said, Edu, I do not expect here a goal feast. I think everything is going to be left for the second leg at Old Trafford. That's why my take here is goals under 2.5, odds of 1.72.
Well, there is a bit of history between these two teams, and a good one for Athletic fans. They arrived to the final in 2012, Alain, and with 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, and I think all Athletic fans are still remembering that win 3-2 at Old Trafford with the Marcos running and running and running and running.
Yes, a lot of things change. The model of play changed because Bielsa to Valverde is 2 different model of play, totally different. Now Athletic have a lot of good option and good view to analyze this game. First, the last game was the last week. There can have 1 week rest is important at this moment of the season, especially for the psychological point of view, because Athletic have a lot of pressure, and I think is the only limit Athletic against Manchester United in this semi-final, because respect to the season, to the collective analysis, Athletic is better. The individual analysis right now, Athletic is better in every line. And after, with the idea of football is completely better respect to Manchester United. Now, Manchester United suffer a lot the team play, the style of play of Athletic directly. In the last games, we saw that against Wolverhampton, we saw that against Newcastle. Manchester United feel more comfortable against team wanna elaborate the game, concede space behind the line of the defense and permit the transition. When Manchester United found team with the strengthness about the offensive line, like Athletic, with the brother Williams, with Sunset is in his best season since the beginning of his career. That line, I think, can make the difference, and Manchester United will be suffer a lot. But warning, because we saw the best version of Manchester United in Europa League. We saw a Manchester United with character, with art against Lyon, and not a team will suffer some doubt against Lyon. To be able to score 3 goals in the extra time is not for every team. But I think, in my opinion, Athletic is better, arriving better condition. I don't think during this game will be close the leg, but I see Athletic winning. I choose Athletic winning odds to 2.01.
All right, really open this first leg in San Mamés. As I told you, to qualify is exactly the same, 1.95 for every team, but we have Athletic as favorites, and Alain sees them winning. Leo sees not many goals in this first leg, a match, one-sided, or this is what we could think, is the other semi-final. Tottenham, Bodø Glimt. Is funny because, Leo was telling us that Athletic and Manchester United went second and third, and Tottenham was fourth in the group stage, and Lazio was first. So the only team who broke these first four spots is Bodø Glimt, the team that knocked out Lazio away in penalties. The biggest surprise of this tournament. What a project the Norwegian team has. The first Norwegian team in a European semi-final. But here the bookies place Tottenham as favorites for the leg and for this game. 1.29 is impossible to speak about the Tottenham of the Premier League. Alain, we saw them losing again this weekend, 5-1. We have to take the Tottenham from Europe, I guess, if we want to back them. Or do you see this tie going to Norway with a tight result? And then be careful with Bodø Glimt, very strong at home.
Yes, I don't know if it's a mystery or a surprise. And is available for both teams, because Tottenham this season is one of the poorest seasons in the 21st century for Tottenham, and we are back in the last 90s when Tottenham was fighting against relegation, and this season is really strange. There's a lot of injury. The team is pretty young. I think the schedule until the semi-final was easy for Tottenham. But it's true, we saw the best version about the Spurs. Now, Bodø Glimt against Lazio, I am not sure that they deserve to pass this game. I think Lazio lose this quarter of final because it's a suicide. Lazio suicide this game. But Bodø Glimt is a fresh team. No, for the European competition, we have the habit to see every time the same team, no, in semi-final, in final, and Bodø Glimt is something fresh. It's something fresh with a clear idea. We have an interesting deep working, because it's few seasons. Bodø Glimt are here and have really good results in Europe. Remember the season where they beat the Roma of Jose Mourinho. It was the same, and every season they lose the best player, but you have that idea, that creativity to invent another new team. And with the Norwegian team, every winter is the same question: how the team will be compete when the European competition will be back. And this season we had some difficulties because European competition was back at the middle of January, and Bodø Glimt is answered every time. The big advantage of Bodø Glimt for this game is they're played without pressure. It's like travel with your friend. We go to London and we will be play a game against Tottenham. If we lose, it's not a problem. Our objective is won the league, and that one I think Tottenham will be suffer a lot. I saw Bodø Glimt scoring, because in 80% of his game away, they'll be able to score. And for that reason, I choose both teams to score, odds 1.91.
All right. Leo, away in this Europa League, they lost to Lazio, Olympiacos, Twente, and Man United. They only won in Braga. Their good results are coming at home for Bodø Glimt.
Yes, absolutely. I guess for them it's a shame that the first leg is not at home, where the pitch is different, where it's synthetic, it's not grass. Tottenham, of course, is not used to that. The only time this season Tottenham played in a synthetic grass or artificial grass, that was in the FA Cup early rounds. I think it was the third round back in January against a team out of the top four divisions in England, and they need to go to extra time, and they play with most of the first 11, so something to take into account now for the second leg. I agree with Alain. This is a team that, yes, it's true, they may have lost games away from home, Edu, but they do score. They tend to score, and which is even better than that is that they do not need a great number of chances to find the back of the net. They said they were very lucky, yes, with Lazio, to be honest. And that's the thing. They didn't produce many chances to score, but they scored the one they really needed in extra time, and that was enough. And then, of course, then in the penalties, everything was in their favor. And with Tottenham, it's just it's a massive opportunity for them. It's a challenge, but a massive opportunity to reach a European final, finally lift the trophy after 17 years. But the opportunities on the other side too, as Alain was saying. I mean, being the first Norwegian side on a semi-final of European competition, so close to a final in San Mamés. I mean, I think if Bodø manages to take this game back to Norway with I think the best scenario will be to win. Second best scenario, a draw. And the third best scenario will be at least to go back to Norway with a 1 goal difference, no more than that. So that would give them much more chances. I think we're gonna see a game played from Bodø. It's very similar as we have seen with Eintracht. Eintracht, a team that loves to run at the counter, where Bodø does exactly like that, especially when they play away from home, because then when they're playing in their own ground, yes, they are a team who plays maybe 20, 15 meters a little bit higher up the pitch. They press 1v1 all over the pitch, but away from home is a more conservative approach, which Tottenham we're gonna find. That's the issue here, similar to what we are talking about Manchester United. 19 defeats in the Premier League for them. Yes, 3 days after they won against Frankfurt in a very mature performance, I would say. I really like the Tottenham I've seen in Frankfurt against Eintracht, because they didn't go crazy after going 1-0 with that penalty from Solanke. They didn't leave spaces for Eintracht to run. Yes, Eintracht had chances to equalize. Of course, you always gonna suffer, but it was a mature performance. And then 4 days after, we were very poor against Nottingham Forest for 45 minutes. Yesterday in Anfield, much of the same. At some point, when Salah scored the fourth one and he took a selfie, it was looking more like a friendly game or like a testimonial, more than like a Premier League game. Yes, it's true, Postecoglou rotated a lot, because in defense we didn't see Porro, Romero, Van de Ven. He was they all gonna play on Thursday. Bentancur did not even travel to Anfield. Maddison was the only one in midfield who you will say is someone who's always starting for Postecoglou in that midfield, maybe alongside Lucas Bergwall. Lot of rotation, but still, it's not an excuse to provide the performance they done yesterday in Anfield. Son Heung-min is also injured, so we're gonna have to see if he makes it or not. Those looking for the individual markets, if he make it or not for Thursday night. I think, of course, we look at the odds. Tottenham massive favorite. But I wouldn't underestimate so much this Bodø Glimt side. Double chance for Bodø shows odds of 4. Even first half double chance has odds of 2.2. But my take here, Edu, is Bodø Asian handicap plus 1.75, odds of 1.91.
Well, I can see you guys that you give a lot of chances to Bodø Glimt, or it's not going to be that easy for Tottenham. It's funny to see Tottenham or Man United just one step away from a final after their pitiful season in the Premier League, a disgraceful season, I would say, for both of them. Yeah. Well, this is the Europa League, but also in this video we want to give you some tips about the conference this season. When the competition started, we could imagine seeing Chelsea in the final. They didn't play against any big rival in this conference, and they are very close to the final indeed, and they have the easiest rival in these semi-finals. Djugarden playing the first leg at home. Still, we have a healthy 1.4, I would say, to win at home, which could be seen as a safe bet for Chelsea to win. And Chelsea, Leo, at least in the Premier League, they are competing and they are still chasing this fifth spot to qualify for the Champions League. They won the last 2 games, and as I said, they didn't have any big rivals in this conference. They beat Legia Warsaw in the previous round, but also Djugarden, when you see the rivals, they beat Rapid Wien in the extra time, also another crazy extra time in the previous round. They beat Paphos, so not really any big rival. I think the gap is very big with Chelsea.
Yes, it is very big, but Djugarden at least at home won against Legia 3-1, and Chelsea at home against Legia, they lost in the Stamford Bridge. They were dreadful that night. I almost fall asleep, believe me, in the Stamford Bridge that Thursday night for the return leg in the quarterfinals against the Polish side. Chelsea, I believe, will try to secure the pass to the final on Thursday. The only thing I have doubts if Maresca will use his best possible 11 now that the final is at stake, or will continue to use Conference League for his B team and for academy products to get more time. Let's remember, next Sunday is Liverpool for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So everyone looking to put some money here to have that also in mind. Will Maresca use Cole Palmer? Will he use Enzo Fernandez, Nico Jackson, or Moi Caicedo? We'll see, because, for example, against Legia away, he used and also at home, he used Reece James, a right back. He used him as a central midfielder. And now he has Romeo Lavia back. He played on Saturday in a very good level against Everton, actually the MVP of that game. With Lavia in the starting lineup, Chelsea went back to the setup that we saw the best performances from them back in October, November, with Caicedo as a right back, Lavia and Enzo double pivot. Of course, Caicedo then coming into midfield when Chelsea is in possession. But I have my doubts that Maresca will play that strong 11 going into this Thursday. But still, even with the B team, this should be enough for Chelsea to create at least a healthy advantage going into the return leg. The priority is the Champions League for Chelsea. Through the Premier League, as you said, they are 5th so far, although they could go into 6th if Nottingham Forest wins on Thursday. I'm talking about Palmer, the last thing. I'm saying I'm not sure Maresca, and probably he won't play his best 11, but maybe Palmer will be good for him to play this first leg. Will be helpful because he needs to find the back of the net. 17 games for Palmer without scoring. He needs his confidence back. Against Everton, he didn't record a single shot on goal, and he had only 1 touch of the ball on the opposition box. So maybe for Palmer will be beneficial to play this tie. Favoritism clear with Chelsea. My take here, Chelsea Asian handicap minus 1.5, odds of 2.05.
So to have a healthy distance with Djugarden for the second leg. Alain, of course, you are also backing Chelsea here?
But it's difficult to don't trust in Chelsea. But Chelsea is in conference is the team who is not the guest welcome in Conference League. Chelsea are not comfortable with the Conference League. What means that Chelsea must win this cup. The pressure of Chelsea is winning the Conference League. After the objective is going back to the champions, but the competitivity is hardest than respect to the conference. Now I think Maresca, like Edu said, he put the objective to be back to the champions. In my opinion, Chelsea will be try to close the semi-final in Sweden this week, because after they have a game against Liverpool is easy, but after the next week there will be play again in Newcastle. And I think in Newcastle is very important, this game, because now until the end of the season you can't lose so many points, and Chelsea must to travel in Newcastle and in Nottingham. to play against Forest. And that 2 games are more important than the semi-final at the moment. And to be free to play that game, I think the first leg is key to win with more than 1 goal of difference, to travel after and put the focus to the Premier League and the final of the Conference League. Djugarden sincerely don't deserve to be there, because in the semi-final against Rapid Wien in the first leg was better. The second game, a sense of change a little the key about the second leg, and Djugarden was able to play with 1 player more. But Djugarden, since the beginning of the season, they have a strong problem to score goals. They lose 𝐿 he went to the Japanese football. He was the super striker the next season with 24 goals, and they don't have the substitute. And that one means when you don't have a lot of goals against Chelsea, it will be hard. And Djugarden is a team built to play. When there must to defend, is a team feel really uncomfortable. For that reason, I choose a similar odds like Leo with Chelsea will be win with the handicap 1.00 odds 2.00.
Well, much more interesting is the other semi-final, Betis Fiorentina. Great game, this one. Joaquin Derby, he played in both sides, remember, and Fiorentina again in the semi-finals of the conference. They played the last 2 finals of this competition, losing both. Remember, last season against Olympiacos, the one before against West Ham. For Betis is uncharted territory, because they are looking for their first ever European final, also in really good form in La Liga, chasing Villarreal in the 6th spot right now, but trying to play the Champions League next season. Alain, I know you are a big Fiorentina supporter. Again, optimistic for this semi-final.
No, I am never optimistic with Fiorentina because I suffer so much and I lose in every game 1 day of my life, 1 year of my life. Now, Betis is favorite. Betis have more quality. Betis, since Anthony arrived, seeing to the Betis change totally. His average of point, his model of plays, and his personality. A team in the midfield, when do you have Pablo Fornals, Lo Celso, Isco, is difficult to win the ball with that type of midfield structure. Now, it's true, maybe they concede something in defense, especially in transition, but it's a really dominant team. Actually, it's one of the teams I prefer to see every weekend, because the technical level is a show. After, to be concrete in that type of games is a test. Is a test for Pellegrini. Pellegrini are prepared. The next season, Betis will be a Champions League team, and a season with a qualification for the Champions League and win the Conference League, it will be probably the best season in the history of Betis. And for that reason, I think that the team are really focused. We know playing in Sevilla is always difficult, but warning, because Fiorentina is one of the biggest mystery in Serie A this season. Because if you analyze the results of Fiorentina against the team from the top team in Serie A and the bottom team in Serie A, is really strange, because in the last 20 years, I don't remember a Fiorentina have that average of point against the top 7 in Serie A. They won against Milan, Juve, and Inter at home, and that one don't pass in the last 20 years. And what mean that? Fiorentina is feel more comfortable when Fiorentina can wait. And Fiorentina is built right now like a transition team, a counter-attack team. When they must to elaborate the game, Fiorentina suffer a lot. The game are really boring. I pray every week to see that type of game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to make a siesta, no? Because no rhythm and really boring game. But when they play against team wanna play, is a team really dangerous. Now, I think that the biggest limit is if Fiorentina played without 𝗀𝗏𝗏 and especially without 𝐻𝐿, because 𝐻𝐿 is the solution for Fiorentina. And right now we don't know if he can play in Sevilla, because he's in Paris. He has a family problem, and we don't know if he will stay in the field. For that reason, in my opinion, it is a goal match. I choose over 2.75 goals, odds 2.01.
Well, also Betis, they've been great in the big games in the second part of the season. Leo, they beat Sevilla in the derby, beat Real Madrid at the Villamarín, drew with Barcelona.
Barça, yeah.
So they've been great also in the big games, huh?
Yeah, and that win against Sevilla was the first one in the derby in the last 7 years for them. I do believe as well that they're going to qualify to the Champions League through La Liga, but this is very special for them. The opportunity to play European final for Betis is huge. If they reach that final in Warsaw, they both arrive in good form. Fiorentina winning 3 of the last 5 in Serie A, Betis winning 4 in the last 6 in La Liga. In the quarterfinals, they both have done the job in the first leg. Betis winning by a 2-goal margin at home. Fiorentina winning 2-1 away, then suffering a little bit in the return leg. Betis from January looked like a different team. The first semester was different, was tough for Manuel Pellegrini. I remember there was a lot of criticism. Now everyone is in love with Anthony. He's doing amazing. But when Betis went for him and we got to know some of his contract clauses and the money that he was getting paid by Betis, the part of his salary covered by Betis, most of the supporters were against doing that business. But now you have a player who is smiling again, who is playing well again and showing understanding with Isco and with 𝐻𝐿𝐴, although 𝐻𝐿𝐴 cannot play in Conference League because he's not on the list. Alain mentioned that midfield players of Lo Celso, Isco, Pablo Fornals, but also Johnny Cardoso in that double pivot. He's having an amazing season. And Tottenham, to be honest, having that option to buy him for £20 million in the summer, it already appears as a masterstroke because Cardoso is having an amazing season. The problem going into this tie for both of them is in the striker position. Fiorentina, as Alain said, not knowing if 𝐬𝐿 𝐻𝐿 is going to play. At least Palladino yesterday, the manager said after the 2-1 win in the Tuscany derby against Empoli that 𝐬𝐿 𝐻𝐿 is returning on Tuesday for training. So we will see if he plays a part or not on Thursday. And the troubles in the striker position for Pellegrini is because, as I said, 𝐻𝐿𝐴 can play. And then Chimi Avila is injured, and Bakumbu is also in doubt. And the Congolese striker has 7 goals in this Europa League, and he's been instrumental to progress to the semifinals because he scored in the first leg against Ghent, then he scored in both legs against Vitória de Guimarães and Jagiellonia in the quarterfinals. So we will see if he gets or not the chance to play. I will be checking that before placing any bets on individual markets. My take here, Edu, both teams to score yes, odds 1.80.
Okay, guys, great analysis of these semi-finals, European semi-finals in the Europa League and in the conference. Next week, we have the second leg. Remember as well that you can post your own tips in 𝐻𝐿𝐴 and win some cash prizes, or create your own tipster competition with rivals. Let's go, because I'm sure we still have some safe bets for these 4 games. Leo, safe bet?
Chelsea to win 1.38.
Alain?
Chelsea to win 1.38.
Of course, against you guys.
Yes.
And ACCA, Alain?
Athletic Manchester over 0.75 goals in the first half. Tottenham Bodø Glimt over 2.25 goals. Real Betis Fiorentina winning with the handicap 1.25. Odds 3.20.
Leo?
ACCA is Manchester United Athletic Bilbao goals under 2.5, and Chelsea to win plus goals over 2.5 in that semi-final. These two together also 3.83.
Thank you, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.